I'm sorry. I guess I stepped on some people's toes last video. Maybe it was their last straw. I don't know. But I got some comments like, you've lost all intellectual authority in this space. You're going to have to grind it all back up. I didn't even know I had any authority. I'm just recording from my basement with like some weird jerseys in the background. I mean, for crying out loud, you guys don't even know if I'm wearing pants or not. Next is, you've been shilling local tops for months now. I guess they don't even watch the videos. Or better yet, dude, you were just bearish last week and now you're bullish. I mean, I'm kind of a perma bull. I don't know when I'm ever bearish. And why would I be bearish on an industry that I'm building my brand on? Beyond me. Anyways, this is Crypto Vlog number 11. I'm going to cover what's going on in the markets. I'm going to tell you guys where I think we are at in this cycle. And I'm going to recap last video, as well as talking about some of the trends that you guys want to take note of and if this rally is actually sustainable. First off, let me show you why I'm actually bullish on those comments that I've received on the video. Normally, some people would be like, whoa, wouldn't you be offended by that? No, I'm used to it. Like, I get it all the time. Feel free to leave some comments below. I love those comments. They're fun. They keep me going. But if you take a look at the market psychology chart, usually when you have people agreeing with you, are super euphoric, full of optimism, and they're like, bro, we're going to the moon, that's when you need to sell. When everyone is mad, when everyone is depressed, when everyone is like, this is over, this is terrible, that's the time to buy. Not financial advice, of course. And if you take a look at the fear and greed index, it's whatever. It's nothing crazy. It was actually around 26, 28. Last crypto vlog we made, and then this past week, it was ranging around 30 to 45. But with the recent Bitcoin rally, it's actually went up to about 59. Currently, the Bitcoin price is around 63,305. Around. Yeah, that's basically exactly what it is. But if you take a look at this, we're basically in this chopping trend. We're in this range. But if you take a look at this chart pattern, what do you notice? Well, this is actually called a bull flag. A bull flag usually ends up going into a breakout. Normally, I would be more concerned with something like this if we just had a sharp down move. But this is what you call a chop and a consolidation. This is to get rid of those short-term holders and give the tokens to the diamond hands. Once you have diamond hands that set up this level, this becomes support into the bull run, or at least towards the end of the bull market. That's why you can see around this level, we also had really strong support at this level, because that was the previous chop level that we had, or at least somewhat of a peak level in the last bull run. And this is usually when you have something that was called resistance into something that we now call support. But obviously we need to break out of this range. Time will tell. We'll see what will happen, but this usually ends into a breakout. Now, as for the markets, if you go on crypto Twitter, people are starting to get a little bit euphoric again. If you take a look at the ETH gas fees, there are people on chain playing around with different meme coins, different projects, and of course, there is a little bit of speculation out there. However, take this with a grain of salt. In my opinion, this is just what I am seeing. The reason I say this is, first, we do not have retail in. If you look at the Coinbase app downloads, they are way down from what they were, especially in the meme coin run. And speaking of meme coins have not been leading the rally. This has been a Bitcoin-led rally with some of the altcoins finally getting a bid. Now, first, I'll show you Bitcoin dominance. You can see here we're around 57%. I do think we are going to top out around 60%. Do I think this is the time to just go all into Bitcoin? No. I really think this is the time to start your DCA into altcoins if you haven't already. A lot of them have started to run up this past week, week and a half, 2 weeks. I would wait for a pullback if you can. If you have super antsy pants and you can't resist the FOMO, throw a little bit at it. Usually when you throw something at it, it nukes, and then that's when you can throw a little more at it. Take a DCA approach. But the reason why I want to show you this Dune sheet is to show you that the leaders of the other pairs outside of Bitcoin are actually some of the altcoins. Like you have AI tokens, Telegram bots, LSDs, Layer 2s, perps, RWA. You have some of these quote unquote perceived utility tokens. Everything's a meme coin in this space. Do not be fooled by that. Some have perceived utility and others, they don't have any utility. But if you take a look at the memes, you can see here they're actually almost the lowest on the list, where Frentech, Gamblify, and Decentralized Science, those are actually in the negative. They are underperforming Bitcoin, like massively. Well, I wouldn't say massively because they outperformed the past few months, but they are underperforming Bitcoin this month. Here's a tweet from Ben Cowan. He covers Bitcoin dominance pretty heavily. He's one of the good ones out there. But basically, he's showing a chart on Total 3. This is basically all the cryptos excluding Bitcoin and ETH. This is just showing, hey, look, this is where the market is at and usually what happens. He is stating here, usually the altcoins don't begin their rally until quantitative easing starts, and that has not begun. We've just had the rate cuts. I'm on the side of, yes, you will still have those alts that are going to run extremely hot regardless of this. And that's what we've seen with Sui this past few weeks, or Tau. These have literally been taking off to the races. And I think things that are showing strength now are going to show even more strength once we start getting into a alt season. Now, of course, there definitely is that chance for another leg down with some of these alts, but I like to zoom out and take a risk to reward perspective to where it's like, what if we don't go down and you don't have exposure to alts? Then it's like, oh snap. If we do go down, then that's when you take a DCA approach and it's like, okay, I have some now. It nukes, it goes down. Okay, great. I can buy some more at a lower price and lower my cost entry. You are never going to buy the bottom. In the past 5 years being in crypto, or almost 6 now, I've never bought the Pico bottom. So kind of throw that out there and remember that. I also want to show you guys this to give some more perspective on the market. This is kind of the level where Bitcoin is at. This is the time where you zoom out and get rid of the emotions. I understand how it feels, where it goes up and then it makes a lower high and then we nuke back down. I buy the dip, it pumps, and then the dip keeps on dipping. It's not a good feeling. I get it. But sometimes you need to zoom out and understand where you're at. We are into the fourth halvening. It had just happened this past April. Usually around this level, this is when we have this consolidation range, and then we have the large upswing. I still think we are going to have that large upswing. Do I think we're going to go at 753% on Bitcoin, or 3,000%, or even 11,000%? No, I don't think we are going to do that. But do I think we're going to do something at like 200-300%? Oh yeah, definitely. I think we are going to get above 100K Bitcoin this cycle. And what that will mean for altcoins is typically a bullish thing. And the reason I say that has to do with the crypto flows. So it starts with Bitcoin, then it goes to ETH, large caps, and then alts. Let me explain why it does this. First, liquidity flows into Bitcoin. People are like, cool, I like this crypto market, I'm going to buy Bitcoin. But once Bitcoin gets to a certain level and it goes up in price so much, people are like, okay, well, Bitcoin can only go up this much. So I'm going to buy ETH instead because it has a higher risk to reward. Eventually, ETH does the same exact thing. Then people move to large caps. People are like, I'm going to buy these instead because they have a better risk to reward and a greater chance of going up. And then we go into these smaller alts and then the meme coins. However, there are some outliers in this. There are going to be some of your stronger altcoins and your stronger cult meme coins, which I covered in last video, kind of giving some examples that will continue to catch a bid. And usually when those are strong, when everything else is weak, those become super strong once the markets start to rip. That's when you see your things that outperform, like your Luna last cycle, your Polygon last cycle, your Avalanche, your Solana, your Phantom. The type of coins that are outperforming in a weak market are the ones that massively outperform in a strong market. I also want to go back to this gas fee chart. I'm sure this is something that people have questions on. When this is higher, this means there's more speculation in the market. This just means people are on chain playing around with ETH and DeFi stuff. They're either buying coins, making swaps on Uniswap, or they're doing speculative things most of the time. That's what people are using Ethereum for. What that means is people are active in the market and they are making some plays. And usually when that happens, that means, well, people are active. In a bear market, this thing gets at like 1 or 2 gwei. In fact, a few weeks ago, this was like less than 1 gwei. That was basically an easy buy signal, but just something to keep in mind with that. And I want to continue on this, the market in general, being that it's led by the alts and Bitcoin. This is bullish in my opinion, because instead of having illiquid meme coins that are leading the market, you actually have capital and money pushing up these different altcoins with larger market caps. This means it takes a lot more money to do that, and that means there is more money filtering into the system. Yes, there are still some meme coins that are massively pumping, but it's not like some random pump fund that goes from 20K market cap to like 60K. Instead, it's things that are like a couple billion in market cap to like several billion in market cap. Sui is a really good example of this. Now, I don't only post content on YouTube, I also post some random stuff on Twitter. So if you guys aren't in the premium Discord, there is a link in the description to that below. But if you guys aren't in the Discord and you guys aren't seeing what I'm doing day to day, you guys can actually follow on Twitter and you guys can see what's up. Like, I don't know. I'm bullish on Sui and Phantom, and I just pop random tweets out. And we did happen to catch Sui and Phantom. God was looking out on those, and just some random altcoins and random memes. But you guys can stay up to date and seeing what I'm doing in the markets on Twitter as well. I'll drop random tickers, random memes, and all kinds of random stuff. So if you aren't in the Discord, you guys can get some more content on Twitter. It is entirely free over there, so you guys can check that out. Now, I actually want to take a second to make a comment on this. If there was one thing differently I could have done last cycle, it would have been starting my community sooner. And the reason for this is, I've said this a couple of times, it's important to not do crypto alone. Crypto is extremely volatile, and you will sell at the wrong times and you will buy at the wrong times. It's not because you are doing that on purpose. It's because it's very emotion driven. One day you can wake up and your portfolio is down like 60%, and it's like, should I sell? I have no one to talk to. I feel really bad. I'm going to sell now. You wake up the next day and it ends up going 400% the next day, and you would have been way in the green, or at least in the green. And it's like, oh snap. Doing crypto alone is dangerous. Make sure you are doing crypto with some form of group or in some form of Telegram group. That way you can check your temperature, whether you're being too depressed or you're being too euphoric. It's important to have someone to check your emotions and someone to ping your ideas off of. And that's kind of how I use Discord. It's kind of like a think tank in what I'm doing in the markets. But just wanted to throw that out there, especially if this is your first cycle. Make sure you find a good group and a good community to be around, because it's really dangerous to do crypto alone. You can get absolutely roasted, especially with your emotions. But I want to go ahead and close up this video with a couple of thoughts I randomly dropped in Discord. Before I get into these thoughts, the first thing, like I talked to you guys about in last video, I really think this is a good idea to find some of the cult memes that you want to join. I gave you guys some degen ones, and I also shared with you guys Murad's tickers. He's got some good tickers. In fact, I like a few of them, and I've been bullish on some of them for over a year now, back from last 2023 meme coin cycle when I should have sold a lot more, but I didn't. That's how greed gets you, man. It always does. But like SPX, Giga, Bitcoin, MOG, those are really, really strong tickers. The video I made is more of some like degen tickers like DigiDarts. Some may do well, some may do terrible, but they've been strategically picked. That way the winners, if they do win, they win and pay for the losers. Because the maximum downside is whatever you invest, and the maximum upside is theoretically infinite. Now, I also made the disclaimer in the beginning of the video, and do not invest a huge chunk of the portfolio. In fact, I said something like 2 or 3%, and apparently some people in the comments thought, oh, you're nuts. You're investing everything in. Did you not listen to the beginning of the video? I guess nobody does. And the reason why it's a small percentage of the portfolio is because if it goes to zero, It's okay. But if it makes extraordinary returns, then it boosts the amount that you make on your overall return. So let's say, for example, you invest 1% of the portfolio and the rest of it in Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does a 2x and the one that you invest, that 1% goes to zero, well, your portfolio is still basically up a 2x. Now, if Bitcoin does its 2x, it does its thing, but the tickers you invested in overall end up doing a 100x, you don't do a 2x on your portfolio. You actually do more than that. Theoretically, if you split it up into two portfolios, it would be 100x and a 2x, but you actually 3x your portfolio. Why is that? Because that 1% that you do 100x on becomes 100%. So it's basically split 50% Bitcoin, and now it's 50% in the token that you just invested in. So you actually need to diversify and actually take profits into something like that. Is 100x possible in crypto? Oh yeah, it definitely is. You can do 1,000x, 2,000x. I've done a couple of them. So it's definitely possible. I mean, you see some people on Twitter talking about some random meme coins every day. That's the best part about the crypto industry. Your goal is just to survive. If you survive, you're going to thrive. Do not get knocked out of the game. That's all I can say. Let's go and end it with this. Don't fight the Fed. Rate cuts are bullish. Short term, could they be bearish? Of course, possibly. And the reason why they are bullish is because people originally getting a yield in the bank are now not getting a yield, or at least a lower yield, and that instills risk on. That makes people like, oh man, I'm antsy, I got some money, I'm not earning anything on it. They're deflating my money. If I'm just sitting here, I'm actually losing money. I need to buy something. And so far, the stock market, basically all-time highs. Crypto market is actually underpriced. So people will look for risk on stuff, and then they will start bidding other things. Crypto is an example of a risk on asset. It also has a reflexivity flywheel. They see number go up, they want to buy more. More buyers, number goes up even more. As number go up, this attracts more buyers. It's just a flywheel. The opposite is true. Number go down, you have more sellers. Same thing. But this is just a random post I sent out there. I covered meme coins last video. Am I bullish on altcoins? Yes, I do have a lot of the altcoins. I've been accumulating some in 2023 and a tiny bit into, no, I would say meme coins was more like late 2023, 2024. Most of the altcoins that I bought were in early 2023. But here's just some random thoughts I was just kind of like thinking about. I think Sui is going to play out like Solana, Say like Avalanche, Phantom like Phantom. I'm still bullish on Phantom. It's going to be Sonic. So maybe Phantom like, or Sonic like Phantom would be a better way. Tia like Polygon, BNB, it's probably still going to run hot. You got Immutable X or some random layer 2. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's probably going to be like the Harmony one last cycle. It could also be that one token, DMT token. It's basically a layer 3 on Arbitrum. I don't know. Who knows? Rune and Cacao, I still see those performing like last cycle. If you saw Rune last cycle, it went from like less than a penny to like $20. Outperforming, like massive. It's a bull market coin. But if you want to check out some videos on that, I give some explainers on YouTube. Just check them out. And like Time and Ohm last cycle, if you weren't around, it was like a 3-3 Ponzi type of thing that everyone was just buying in, and it was paying like 10,000% APR. You know, like, well, if you don't, it was just an unsustainable Ponzi, but it was an unsolved game. People didn't understand like where the yield was coming from when it was really just coming from their back pocket. But I see Tau, the AI token, performing something like that. I don't see it outperforming like as in terms of being a layer 1 or a layer 2 or like a chain, but in performance of like the stairs up and then elevator down type of thing. And then I also think there's going to be some random coin that we don't even know about that's just going to massively outperform the market and come out of nowhere. But again, these are just some random speculation thoughts by me. Don't take this as financial advice because it's definitely not. That was crypto vlog number 11, I think it is. And if you guys want to see my meme coin spreadsheet, you guys can check out last video. But just threw a bunch of random degen meme coins on there. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video or the crypto vlog. Make sure you guys touch some grass from time to time and don't get too caught up in the markets and don't get too emotional about it. Most important thing is make sure you don't do crypto alone. Let's go ahead and hit you guys with Proverbs chapter 20, verses 13. Do not love sleep, or you will grow poor. Stay awake, and you will have food to spare. What this means is don't sleep your life away. Get off your buns, get working, get it done. Peace out, guys.